and the possibilities they now have with the first quarterback they've drafted in the top 10 since Andrew Luck. So it's the first time they've sort of gone to the draft to try and find hope that way. And there's definitely excitement that comes with that. A lot of risk too, but there's hope in the building in a way that wasn't at all last year.
Yeah, certainly more excitement than finding the next Carson Wentz. The fans man, there's an even worse version of Carson Wentz somehow, and we found him. But you kind of just alluded to a lot of this. So if you were basically designing a head coach, they basically got the platonic ideal of a head coach hire, like a guy coming from one of the best teams in the league, in the Eagles, a guy coming from a genuinely innovative offense, a guy coming from a genuinely very versatile offense, an Eagles team that just ran in 2021 and remained run heavy in 2022, but then got in a lot more of the pass than we were expecting. And so just how do they plan? So we've seen a little, but that's my long way of saying we've seen a little bit of everything from Shane Steichen and the offenses he was a part of the 2 years. Just how do you think they plan to utilize Anthony Richardson as a rookie who our own Kyle Dvorchak has said is kind of like Derrick Henry in a quarterback's body, but we just all know about the rawness and inexperience as a passer. How do you think they plan to thread that upside and also inexperienced needle in 2023?
It was a big hurdle they had to get over in the pre-draft process, was figuring out if you're going to take Anthony Richardson, what's the plan for him? Do you start him early on? Do you want to try and redshirt him the way that some teams have gotten the chance to with Patrick Mahomes? And they decided somewhere in that process that for a guy who only had 13 starts at all above high school and is as young as he just turned 21 last month, they wanted him to be able to play early on and learn that way, the way that in a lot of ways that Jalen Hurts had to work through, his accuracy issues out on the field with first team reps, building chemistry with receivers, the way Josh Allen, that's how he made a leap in his accuracy. So I expect Anthony to play early on, which means that there's going to be ups and downs to it. I think they know that and they're ready for it. So far we've seen him out there at OTAs and minicamp, and you see the accuracy concerns for sure. It looks like a guy who struggled with that in college, but also looks like a guy who, is putting everything into it to try to make those gains, and then can do things that others can as far as how far he can throw the ball down the field, and just the way he can shift within the pocket and also take off on some of these explosive runs. So I think they're going to cater an offense that's going to be very much around what he can do right now, which is the run game and getting the ball down the field off of play action and really attacking the sidelines. So pretty much when defenses want to key in on the run against Richardson and Jonathan Taylor with an extra safety, it's going to open up one of those sidelines with the middle of the field closed. And that's where Alec Pierce, Michael Pittman Jr., guys like that are going to kind of thrive. But they kind of know that it's going to be probably a pretty boom or bust offense early on with him. They'll try and counteract that with, steady enough run game that can kind of keep them on the field and also give them a chance at explosive plays if they can get Jonathan Taylor back to being what he was a couple years ago. But with a rookie who needs this much of a jump in accuracy, new playbook, new coach, young receivers, I think they very much realize that the results are going to be very much a work in progress. They had to be ready for that world when they drafted Anthony in the first place.
So Nate, would it be fair to say, are the Colts, we're just guessing, are they going to be bottom 5 in pass attempts, maybe bottom 3? Could they surprise be bottom 10? We know they're going to be bottom something in pass attempts. Just how low do you think it will be in terms of passing volume?
I think they'll be bottom 10. It'll really come down to, though, what they have to do. They're going to want to run the ball a lot. The part of why the Eagles got to run the ball a lot, especially in the postseason, is they were up in those games. How much they were up against the Giants, that put them in a position to just kind of play it safe and run clock that way. Right now, the Colts have a defense where they're going to start potentially one or two rookies at outside corner. They've got guys who've never played at all in the secondary. That's losing Stephon Gilmore and Rodney McLeod. So they may be in a position where they're down enough and they don't really have a choice but to open it up and throw. But that's certainly not going to be the plan for them. That's not going to be the script. If it's up to them, I think they'll run, they'll lead the league in rush attempts. It'll just depend on whether games allow them to do that.